Next, students, we have studied about the challenges of credit in rural area. Now, what are the sources of credit in rural area? These sources can be classified into two categories: the institutional and the non-institutional. The institutional sources are the institutions which provide loan to the farmers, and the non-institutional sources, these are the traditional or the conventional sources which are working with the farmers from many centuries. The institutional sources are the new sources. These are emerging in last 50 years. First, we need to understand about and we need to discuss about the non-institutional sources, because these are more important in rural area. What are these non-institutional sources? These are the landlords, the village traders, money lenders. These are the important sources of non-institutional rural credit in India. They provide most of the credit in rural area, and the farmers are basically dependent on these. They are providing credit to farmers from many centuries. That is a tradition going on in the villages. They go to the landlords, the traders, the money lenders. Non-institutional sources accounted for 93% of total borrowing of the farmers in the beginning of first 5-year plan. When we started the 5-year plan, the role of non-institutional credit was 93% in the total borrowing. Now it has come down, because we have initiated the institutional sources, and in 1981 when we made this a principal channel of rural credit, then the rule of non-institutional sources has been came down, and now they are not much responsible for the credit in villages, but still they have an important role in the rural credit. The institutional sources. These sources include the government, the cooperative societies, commercial banks, and the regional rural banks. When we started the 5-year plan, these were providing only 7% of loan in the villages. But now they are providing about 66% loan in the villages, and the non-institutional sources, they are now, when they were providing 93% loan, now they are providing only 34% of rural credit. When we talk about the institutional sources, the cooperative societies provide only 15% loan, and the commercial banks provide 75% loan, and the rest is provided by the other institutions. Apart from substantial expansion of the flow of credit by commercial banks, the regional rural banks, the cooperative credit institutions have emerged as an important institutional agencies offering credit support and related services. The commercial banks, then the regional rural banks, RRBs, and the cooperative societies. All these have emerged as the principal source of credit supply in villages. So what are these institutions? We study about these institutions. Cooperative credit societies. These are the societies which are providing adequate credit to the farmers at reasonable rate of interest. The most important aspect is that they have the reasonable rate of interest. When the non-institutional sources provide the loan, they charge a very high interest rate. And that is the main reason of poverty in the villages, because most of their produce is taken over by those money lenders or the village traders. But cooperative societies or the other institutional sources, they provide loan at a very low interest rate. Presently, these societies provide 16 to 17% of rural credit which is in flow in the market. With the loan, these societies also provide a diverse agriculture operations with a view of rising crop productivity. The guidance in the field of the diverse agricultural operations, they provide all type of guidance. Then they supply the necessary items for agriculture. So all these are there. These societies are to ensure timely and rapid flow of credit to the farmers. Timely and rapid flow, that is much important for these. Then elimination of the money lenders as credit agencies. This is the main objective of these institutions. Spread credit facilities across all regions of the country, and the provision of adequate credit in areas covered by special programs of development. In the areas where government has started some special program of development, they provide adequate credit in those areas as well. The State Bank of India and the other commercial banks. The SBI was set up in 1955 with the focus on rural credit. The government realized that the rural credit needs could not be met by the cooperative societies alone, because they were very less in number and the people were not attached to with these. So the government has planned that the commercial banks should play an important role in that. So with that objective, they stabilized the SBI, and then in 1969 the government has done nationalization of the banks so that the bank can reach to the farmers, reach to the villages, as the branch expansion program was launched by the government, and they have planned to offer credit directly to the villagers. Then the regional rural banks. These are the banks which are working in the villages. With that, the land development bank as well working in the villages. These were set up to promote credit supplies, particularly in the remote area. Then the National Bank for Agricultural and Rural Development, NABARD. NABARD is an apex institution handling policies, planning and operations in the field of rural credit. They are making the policies, they are doing the planning, and they are providing loan to the farmers. Other than that, what their main functions are: to serve as an apexic funding agency for the institution providing credit in rural areas. Whichever the institutions providing loan in the rural areas, they fund those agencies. Then to take appropriate measure to improve the credit delivery system. So their focus was on the restructuring of credit institution and training of personnel. So they trained the persons who are working with the cooperative societies and other societies which are working in the villages, so that the system of credit delivery is to be improved. To coordinate with the rural financial activities of all credit institutions with the government and the RBI, so that the funds should reach to the institutions which are working in the villages. To undertake monitoring and evaluation of projects refinanced by it. So now what we see in the field of the village rural banking is that rural banking in India has significantly expanded over time. It is increasing since 1969, when we have done the commercialization of the nationalization of the banks. Now the banks has been playing a significant role in the field of villages, and with the nationalism of the commercial banks, we have started the social banking in villages and providing institutional credit on very low interest rate, very fine interest rate. We have established NABARD as well. And what we can see in the banking system is that banking credit or institutional credit has invariably been tied to collateral. What problems we are facing is that the banks and the credit of bank is tied with the collateral. They need to give something as guarantee. So due to that, many marginal and the small farmers, they are no often get the loan. Owing to political populism, the government has often shown laxity in recovery of loans, so that hurts the financial institutions. And apart from the commercial banks, most financial institutions have failed to develop a culture of thrift among the farmers. It means they are not able to teach farmers that they should save money for their future. So the farmers are not able to come out of the trap of loan. So that is a very big issue with the farmers in the villages. So this is all for today. Tomorrow when we meet, we'll start with the challenges of agricultural rural marketing. Thank you.